2 reasons why runners develop shin splints, and 4 stability and strength drills that you can do to not only get out of pain, but improve your performance so you can actually run better and perform better with more power. I'm Dr. Dan, so let's get into this. So first we got to establish what is a shin splint. Well, let's first talk about why we develop them. 2 reasons why: training error or biomechanical faults, or in other words, poor mechanics. The training error is pretty self-explanatory. If you're doing too much too soon, the bones are not really able to handle that much stress. And at the same time, if you don't have that much control to be able to handle that much stress, then it starts to become an issue. So if you got to think about this, shin splints are the early phases before what a stress fracture would be. It's a continuum. So think of it as those early warning signs, that warning light in your car on your dashboard saying, hey, that's just too much load. And so within the bone, what ends up happening is that the bone is not able to handle the stresses you're applying to it. You got to keep in mind, on the ankle, there's over 26 bones and joints within the foot and ankle. There are 2 major joints in the ankle, but if you think about all of that, joints need to be controlled. And so when you are either training too much too soon, or not properly loading yourself well, or not moving well, that's going to develop shin splints or stresses into the bone. The first exercise is called a 3-way ankle. I use this with all my patients, especially if they're developing either some type of shin pain or ankle dysfunction where they're not having that much control. Easy setup. You get a band about as small or a little bit thicker than this. Have a seat. You put the band around the foot, and then from there you go and push it out, stretch it out, put your other foot on it, a step away, then cross your ankle on top of your knee, just like that. Now when you get that, what you're going to do is that you're going to focus on simply just going straight up and down. Now when you go up like this, you're going to engage a lot of these muscles and tendons that run into the ankle that actually stabilize that arch. And so you want to do about 15 of these with a good 2 to 3 second pause to make sure you have that locked and dialed in. And so after you do about 15 of these, you're going to go ahead and put your foot down. You're going to get your feet a little bit away from you. And with the ankle crossed, you had resistance going in. Now you're going to have resistance going out. So you're going to tilt away and then in, just like that. Away and in. Now you're working the complete opposite end, because these group of muscles and the outside both come down at the same time and meet underneath the arch. These 2 need to be synchronous with each other. So that's why we're addressing the other side. The mistake people make with this type of exercise is that they move the entire leg like that, thinking that that's what they're doing, getting into the ankle. But as you can see, it's not moving at all. So you got to be able to focus in, tilting away and tilting in. The third part of this first exercise is getting your feet away. Now you're going to move your foot like a crutch. So you're going to go up and then down, and up and down. What's nice about this is that for runners, especially distance runners, if they have a heel toe gait, what's going to happen is that this is going to be worked a lot. And so this addresses this muscles. Remember, this exercise is there to simply prime the ankle, not just work it out. The second exercise is where you're really going to make your money. It's called a split heel raise. What you want to do is get an elevated surface like this plate or like a step. You're going to put one foot onto there and the other foot back. And you're going to have one foot in front of the other, just like this, onto its back toe like that. You're going to want to shift all your weight forward and get that knee to bend. You want this knee over those toes. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring this heel up as you spot yourself there. And you're going to hold this for about 3 to 5 seconds, keeping this knee bent. Then after those 5 seconds, lower your heel down nice, slow, and control. Let it shake. Build that resilience into those tendons there. And then you're going to drive right back up. Just keeping all your weight onto this leg for another 5 seconds, keeping that knee bent. And again, as you lower that heel, keep that knee bent. And then you're going to drive right back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a split heel raise. People develop these shin splints because these muscles start to fatigue, and all that force that you're getting onto your foot when you land, when you run, goes, instead of getting controlled at the ankles because of the tendons, it's going straight up into that bone. That's when people start developing stress fractures or shin splints. This is where you start making your money. Third is a single leg heel raise. Now we're going to start with single leg and then work through some modifications, so if it's too much, you have a way to still get this benefit in. These are going to work the large calf muscles that develop the most power when you run or when you sprint. So you're going to get on an elevated surface with one leg. Spot yourself, because this is not a balance exercise, this is a strengthening. So you got to make sure the balancing part is taken care of. Keeping the knee straight, you're gonna drive your heel up nice and strong, then go down slow for about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're gonna drive right back up. Now the key points is keep that knee bent. Don't let, or knee straight. Don't let it bend the entire time. It's gonna maximize the calves and that gastrocnemius right there. And then of course, you don't wanna let the hips drop or anything else like that. Now, let's say this is getting too difficult and you can't get 8 to 10 of them. You can put your other foot down, just keeping the toe there and still doing on one leg. This will at least take some of the edge off. And again, if this is too much still, what I would do is simply just go with both legs. Get both legs set, have a little bit of distance between the feet, and then simply doing the same thing, going strong on the up, slow on the down. That's the biggest piece. People make the mistake by just pumping these out, getting a burn, and that's it. But they're not maximizing the tendon loading that they can get by simply doing a really slow eccentric. This is what it looks like to have single leg heel raise. Now the fourth exercise is going to be the most difficult. Now remember, like we talked about before, the ankle has over 26 bones and joints, but there's two major ones that go up and down and in and out. And the in and out are what people start to lose the most control over first, because it's the most stabilizing one. When that loses control, then you get forces into the shin. So let's learn how to keep that in control. So this is what it looks like when you're standing up. When that ankle is losing control, you can see that just by the ankle, I can move in her entire leg. You can see that when that falls in that position, knee goes in and puts a lot of torque through the shin, knee, hip, and then sometimes even in the back. Now I know sometimes the common approach is to get an orthotic, and that can work, but there's a better way to do it, a way that promotes more longevity. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pretend that somebody has a hand right over your arch and they're squeezing your foot just like this. And you can see how that pre-positions the arch right where it needs to be. Let me show you in this other foot so you have a better angle. So again, loose here, grab the foot, give it a good tight squeeze. Her big toe still on the ground with the heel down. And what she's gonna do here is that once she gets that positioning right, she's gonna get her other foot right onto the bench, hands on her hips. Now, at first, this is pretty difficult. So what you can do is simply get a dowel on the opposite end, and what she's gonna do is keep the arch engaged and then rock back and forth through her ankle, just like so. She's not gonna have too much bending in the hip or knee. She just wants to move mainly in the ankle. What that's doing is simply gaining that control dynamically. And there you have it, 4 drills that can get you back on your feet, back on the track, and running better without pain. If you like everything you liked in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.